So what role did the media play? With me, Jim, you write for NYT pretty often. I wanted to talk to you about, do you think that the media coverage ended up helping Trump? Because there is a Howard report out that says that he was certainly given more coverage.
He was given more coverage. It definitely helped him become the Republican nominee for president, one of the two major people who will become the next president of the United States. I'm not convinced it's helped him win the presidency. We won't know until he wins. And if he loses, I would say in the end it may have also sunk him. That the sheer amount of coverage of him saying preposterous things, lying a lot, not being truthful, I think that may have hurt him because Hillary Clinton is a very weak political candidate. She should not be winning by the normal physics of American politics.
Let's also talk about, how this election has been covered, because a lot of people that I'm talking to seem to have this mistrust. Is that because of the coverage per se, or is it perhaps also because now there are just so many sources of information that perhaps has led to a certain amount of confusion? You don't know which medium to trust, which not to trust.
I think that's a major issue, and it's going to be a problem for our democracy. I think it is for yours, fake news as we call it. But part of the distrust is because we've made mistakes as the press. But I want to say, and I really feel this strongly, that a lot of it this year is because one of the major candidates, Mr. Trump, is constantly saying we lie, we're dishonest, which itself is just not true. When you have someone running a campaign against you, your trust numbers go down in opinion polls, but we're not in the opinion poll business. We're in the journalism and truth business, so we just have to stick to our knitting and do a good job, and I think that will sort itself out. But I think the mistrust is a little bit artificial right now because someone is running against us as much as he's running against his opponent.
How would you analyze the coverage this time around of the American elections, not just by giants like New York Times and Washington Post, but also a lot of alternative media, the mainstream television? Do you think they did a fair job?
I think that cable news has served the democracy at times, our 24-hour news networks, but they've also misserved the democracy. I think CNN, which is a global network, has had these partisan, what I will call hacks on their payroll to just spin the news, and that's not what journalism's about. Journalism is about illuminating the truth, not spinning the campaign talking points of one candidate. So I think it's been kind of lousy in some places.
It's not just one channel.
It was not one channel. I think CNN became the sort of stand-in for it. Fox News channel here already does a lot of that. CNN didn't. MSNBC, I think they had different set of problems. But sorry, I was laughing, now I'm coming. But and then I think, in fact, though, in the end, old-fashioned reporting was the best thing this year. Big stories in the newspapers, small ones and big ones, telling readers this is true, this isn't true. Saying if Donald Trump, our Republican candidate, won't show his taxes. This has not happened in 40 years. American candidates show their taxes. Well, then my colleagues dug out and found his taxes and published them. That's good reporting. It gives people more information upon which to make their decisions.
How do you think, going forward, whoever wins the elections, what should the media be doing in order to regain lost faith?
I think stick to what they're doing, stop the nonsense, focus back on issues, but don't worry about the ratings, because everything this year has been about ratings. That's why Donald Trump got so much coverage. He's a ratings god. He brings ratings. But our job shouldn't be about ratings. It should be about doing the best stories we can that really matter. And so I think if we do that, like we've always done, I think we're going to come out of this just fine. But it's going to be rocky, because the big problem now is that half the country will think that they got robbed, that this was the wrong result. We haven't seen this quite like this in this country, and they're going to blame the media, and it's going to get ugly. And I'd say especially, either way it's going to get ugly. If Donald Trump loses, there are threats of violence. We'll see what happens. Maybe they're just idle talk on Twitter. But it's going to be a rocky few weeks.
Jim, thanks very much.
Thank you.